Hello, and you are watching 15 Minutes or Less, or perhaps you're listening to us, and if you are, thank you very much for picking us out. And we are on to the next episode of our alphabet series, and we are on to the letter G, which, of course, from that music, I'm sure you can tell if you're a fan, means Game of Thrones. And with me are the ladies of Westeros. Hi, Amy. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay. Lady Parastu.
Hello.
Very good.
I'm not from Westeros, I just wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
I'm free folk.
Oh, free folk. Okay. And Amy, Lady Amy as well, number 2.
Hiya.
And of course, I'm Lord Krabs. No need for that, really, it's fine. Okay, so the way this works, it's the same as it works every week. Every week we've got 15 minutes, and I'm going to start the clock right now. Here we go. And we will be talking now for 15 minutes about Game of Thrones. And unless you've been living under a rock, you may have been aware that it just recently finished. The season finale aired. And I think maybe we should just go around the table. Actually, what would be very good to kind of point out early on might be spoilers. Going to try very hard not to. Not because of you watching or listening, although we do care about you. But actually, Amy Blaker sat over there is only up to where?
Halfway through season 3 at the moment, so I don't want to hear the spoilers either.
Yeah. And you only started watching it because we talked about it so much at work.
Yeah, I felt like I was missing
Non-stop.
out. So yeah, literally non-stop. So now I'm gonna catch up with you guys eventually. I just feel like I'm gradually working this out with all the spoilers.
Do you feel like it's going to be worth your time?
Yeah, but I don't want to know. Like, I feel like I've already worked out half the things that are gonna happen.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
not how I
sad
wanted.
because we wanted to vicariously experience it again through you.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
I mean, I've literally seen the last final bit. That was just the biggest spoiler I could have seen. So I'm just a little bit upset.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like some people just don't really think about what they put on their social media feeds.
No, clearly.
You know who you are.
If that's you, get out. Okay. So
many people are doing it though. Like, think about what you put up before. Like, literally warn people.
It's people's
yeah.
life.
You can't unsee these things. Once you see them, you really can't. I'm trying to forget what I've seen, but so many things are just giving me too many clues now. It's not good.
Interesting. Well, reactions around the table then from who has seen the end of Game of Thrones. Should we start with Amy White?
Including me.
Including Amy Blaker.
I really enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of hoo-ha about, season 8 not being that great and blah, blah, blah. But actually,
Kind of rhymed that. Well done.
I actually think it was pretty amazing. I think, without giving too much away, I think things came to. And I don't think they could have been any better, really.
Okay. Parastu?
So I'm part of that hoo-ha. People didn't like it. It was very disappointing. I feel like we were all in a long relationship with Games of Thrones collectively, and now it's that relationship is broke up, ended very badly.
Not for me. I'm still in that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the highs and lows.
Halfway
go.
through it. Yeah, you're still in the honeymoon phase, but yeah, I feel very sad.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of online criticism, and I will come to you in a second, Blake, to ask you about the end of Game of Thrones. But I mean, it was like fierce, wasn't it? People were very, very angry, and like having watched it, I do understand why people were disappointed with how it ended. However, I think it all made logical sense.
I do.
I mean, a lot of people have been like, "You mad? You're crazy. You can't possibly say." It was like, but it does. Like, all this stuff makes logical sense. It's just, it's not so much what happened; it's more the how. Do you not think?
I guess, but it could have. I guess, yeah. It could, if they originally they meant to do 10 seasons, if they took their time and developed the story better, maybe you could have believed it.
Yeah.
But it was hard to. You have to fill all the gap yourself.
Yeah.
Because they didn't show you or developed any character.
I mean, that's the one thing we've really been accustomed to with Game of Thrones. It's had such a high standard of storytelling, character development where you've built these connections with characters and the kind of the emotional aspect of it, which is one of the reasons it's been so successful, because it's you are so invested in it, but it gives you what you want. And like, I think there's a feeling that perhaps this last series in particular, they've just been like, right, here are all the dots and we're just going to join them all.
I mean, just
together.
think about season 3, like how great it was.
Yeah, I mean, you're enjoying that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this season, it's just,
Like I say though, I'm trying to block out all the things that I've seen, because I'm starting to tie it together and I'm starting to think, okay, this is what's going to happen with this person and this is what's going to happen with this person. I've just got to say, in season 1, I did not see the end of that coming though, and I'm still upset.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can say too much. I don't want to give too much away for anyone that hasn't actually seen it.
I mean, to be
But-
honest, I think if you haven't watched series 1 by now, we can probably talk about it. I mean, it happened...
Let's talk about that moment.
yeah, I mean, that's 8 years ago now.
Is it
7 years
really?
ago.
But
Yeah.
there's still a big spoiler to give away.
someone just
Someone
do it.
Well, look, do you know what? It doesn't matter. I said at the start of this is going to be spoilers. At the end of the first series, Ned Stark gets beheaded.
I know.
That was... I never got over that.
I haven't got over that.
But quite frankly, Blakes, it's nothing in the scheme of things. And I think that's the one thing the show puts into perspective. So then, what I'd be curious to know, and I think perhaps all of us around the table would be curious to know, is Amy Blaker has seen a lot of spoilers and believes she has a fairly good understanding of how Game of Thrones is going to end. So as somebody that is halfway through Series 3, not quite even halfway through the show, how do you think the Game of Thrones ends?
I mean, so my first spoiler was the Fire and Ice playlist on Spotify. Now I think what that means is somehow, so Daenerys, where I am, has just got her army. And we've got Jon Snow over with, he's just left the Night's Watch. He's now with, see, I'm not very good with the names.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot of names.
Why
Like
Wildlings?
yes, the Wildlings. And I think it's going to be something to do with them and something to do with Daenerys. It's pretty obvious based on the spoiler that I've seen. So, and I'm just going to give away all the spoilers, basically.
But that's fine. We said that at the top of the
So
podcast.
there's a big, great war at the end between those two, I think. And that's how it's going to end,
At the wall.
with the war. And then someone's going to die, and it's going to be very sad.
So you've got quite a broad, like, there's going to be a big battle.
Yeah.
It's going to involve the wall.
I'm not going to go into details.
People
I've
from the
worked it out.
north.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
You know, Games of Thrones, it's about one person winning the throne at the end.
Yes.
Who do you think will sit at that throne?
Jon Snow.
Okay.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
My guess up until, what was it, the start of this week, I said I thought it was going to be a dragon.
Yes. Yes.
A bit like that
It-
South
you-
Park episode where they
Yeah.
made the Easter Bunny actually a bunny. But, you know, maybe that's not the tone for Game of Thrones.
No.
No, James.
It's just a thought. I mean, you can send us your thoughts as well, because, I mean, there's a lot of people that are very opinionated about this. You can tell us what you thought of the end of Game of Thrones in any of the comments below. And I think we'd be quite interested to hear other people's, because it has been massively polarized.
Yeah.
But it's like all these big TV shows, isn't it? Like Lost and Heroes and Dexter and
I
all
want
these
to
kinds of
say
things.
something very controversial.
Okay.
I feel like
No swearing.
in maybe 3 years, 4 years,
Mm.
no one would talk about Games of Thrones and it would be irrelevant. I mean, even now when you watch the first few season, the CGI is very bad. You could tell the wolves or dogs are not real.
The budget was lower.
Yeah.
Really?
And
Oh, I'd just like to state the dogs are real because I've met them.
well,
Where did you meet
on,
the dogs?
On
In
some scenes, though.
Winterfell in Belfast.
Oh,
yeah, but no. Hold on. Let's just backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
The dogs aren't real.
No, they
the-
are.
On some scenes, they're not real. They're
Oh.
CGI. You could clearly tell. I mean, if you can't, probably.
Or maybe they were on a CGI background, which made them
but
look fake.
what I'm trying to say, after you know how it's ended, and the CGI and the special effect is not going to be good in few years. So it's not going to be. I feel like series like Black Mirror, we will be talking about it like in 20 years time. Still.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that there are aspects of Game of Thrones with the character stuff and the story stuff, which will last. But it's like any action orientated thing with time, it does age. You know, like there's such an emphasis in Hollywood and like TV, and you know, it's like, oh, you know, CGI battles, this, that, you know, and it's always pushing boundaries and raising the stakes and making a program bigger, better. But like you say, a few years down the line, well, the technology's improved, so
Yeah, but look at Star Wars.
yep.
Star Wars is still going on today.
Yeah, and George Lucas made that horrendous error, didn't he? About like 20 years ago, just under, where he was like, I'm going to revisit the original movies and add a load of stuff in that we couldn't do at the time. And it didn't look great then, and it looks awful now.
haven't
Like,
seen those.
so bad. Yeah, I think they've gone back and revisited it since and improved it. But that original run of movies where he went back in, whew, not good. Not good.
So do we think that's actually it for Game of Thrones? I know that obviously I haven't seen the end, but
You know what I want to happen? This is like in my wish list. Someone please make this happen. I want someone to redo the whole series. I mean the books, but in anime series
Oh,
and
okay.
end the series differently because I just hate it.
Oh, that's so sad. I just loved every moment of Series 8. I just felt it kept me on my seat. I thought it was really gripping. It was really emotional. You know, there were all the things that we've been waiting for happened. And then some twists as well to sort of actually make us think, oh, that isn't what we thought, but it kind of happened in a different way. And, you know, some people really surprised us. I just think it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it ended, like I say, as how I think it should have ended.
It has to end somehow, but there were, you know, without giving too much away, but we can probably say this with Amy here is a lot of people have kind of commented on the parallels between the ending of Game of Thrones and the ending of the Lord of the Rings movies series.
I don't remember it very well. What
Yeah.
happened?
Well, if I say that, it's going to give away the ending to Amy.
Major spoiler.
I mean, I pretty much already know what happens here. I've worked it out, haven't I?
Yeah. Well,
No, I
You've
don't think you
worked
should
it
say it.
I'd say you've got about 5% of it right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
rubbish.
Yeah, I know.
No, but that's good, really, because you got
It's-
surprises.
You're still a child of summer. And the fact that I've said that and you're looking at me blankly means you've still got so much to learn.
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah, no, winter's not
5%
even
is not that much.
here yet
No,
for me.
no, absolutely not.
95% still.
Did you say that you were disappointed with the end?
I mean, it has to end somehow. I think I'm kind of actually probably in the middle between Amy and Paris do. I didn't dislike the ending of Game of Thrones at all. You know, I felt it made logical sense. It was enjoyable to watch as a show, as a piece of content. I just think it has had such incredible standards, and it has been a real investment that when they went around connecting all the dots together and all the plot points and all the characters and stuff, it just felt like they were going through it quite quick. You know, as we've been very used to, every series has been kind of 10 episodes. This one's been 6, and although they've been very long episodes and every episode is kind of like a movie, it just, there's just so much they've tried to pack into it. It just lost its effectiveness, which is what it's maintained for 6 or 7 years. And it's just also, you know, because I'm not like the people online where there are insane theories and have been insane theories about how it was going to end, who was going to end up on the throne, all these things. And
That's it, because some of the theories were so interesting.
yeah.
And I was so prepared for something exciting to happen, but it was the most predictable ending. I
Really?
didn't get shocked at all.
Well, I think by the end, nowhere near for Amy.
No,
No.
exactly.
And I think maybe that's the other thing, perhaps.
You know who should have been in this podcast today instead of me sat in this seat?
Who?
Josh.
Jog.
Oh, Josh
Oh
Brooks.
Jog
my
of the
goodness.
He hated it. Absolutely
But
hated
even
it.
from like
Obviously
about
was
4
here.
episodes ago.
Yeah, he did.
But you know,
And then you could have actually spoken a little bit more without spoiling anything for me. But hey, I'm still here.
Yeah. I had hoped for us to go through and perhaps talk about making our own houses and names.
Yeah, sure.
But we've only got 36 seconds left.
What?
No, I mean,
I can't believe
Yeah.
we talked
Just-
so much about
So
games.
let's just assume for the last 30 seconds we're going to make one collectively. What's the symbol and what's the slogan?
I don't think we could choose one animal.
Okay, I'm going to throw one out there just because we talk about it enough on this podcast.
I don't think I've got to the part with houses yet. Have I, or have I just
That's
lost?
just in the show.
that's just
Right, we're
Premise of
okay,
the
let's-
show.
I have watched it, I promise.
We're not a lion. We've got 8 seconds. We're a cat. What's the what's the little slogan? What's the little thing? For
Touch me not.
Touch me not. We're the cat. That's it. I think that's a brilliant way to end. Thank you very much, Paris. If anyone wants to draw a nice little cat with a touch me not for our Game of Thrones house, I'd really appreciate it. Well, that was it. That was 15 minutes or less this week's
Wow.
episode. Please leave your comments below. Tell us your thoughts on Game of Thrones and the finale of Game of Thrones. And yeah, and if you want us to cover anything for next week's. I don't even know what the next letter in the alphabet is. That's bad, isn't it? After G? Anyone? Anyone? Sorry, we just-
A-B-C-D-E.
Oh yeah, that's
H.
right. Hey, very good. Okay, cool. Well, I suppose it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.